and I thought about it, there is 100 different pathways, even though it's for pharmacists, but think about how much of the text to support that. So even though I'm a pharmacist, my wife's a pharmacy tech, but she's been doing Medicare pharmacy benefits for 20 years. So there's so much behind the scenes that we can do. Okay. Yes, ma'am. I know I'm a walker, but I gotta stay here. All right. Are you guys excited about this? Kind of? I mean, you're like, I have no idea what he's gonna talk about. I don't know what it is. Yeah, okay. All right, so at the end of the presentation, the listener will be able to list defining characteristics of each generation currently in the workplace. Identify best practices for communication with members of different generations in the workplace, and discuss the best means of motivating your employees. Okay. Everybody in here has been interviewed, correct? For a job. How many people have done the interviewing? Oh, awesome. Okay. So it's a couple minutes, and it's called a Millennial job interview. And I love this. I found this and I'm like, I gotta talk about this. But and we talk about how diverse and how much there's that communication issue, right? We're like, oh, I talk to my techs, I talk to my staff all the time. Yeah, let's see how this goes. Oh, you got hit. You have to hit that. All right.
Okay. Hey, Bryan.
Amy, it says you are trained in technology. That's very good. Are you adept at Excel?
No.
So, no, it's not up there. Hang on.
When you're working for me, you have to have those kind of research skills, because I'll send you things for you to comb through and get the answers and send them to me. So for that, you got to be really good at technology.
For stuff like that, no problem. I'll just ask Siri.
You'll just ask Siri?
You know, Siri, tell me this, Siri, find me that. We're all good at getting you the answers.
Tell Siri, I want you ready to go at 8 sharp each and every morning.
I don't understand
What don't you understand?
what you just said.
You don't understand be ready to go?
No. You said 8, right?
Yes.
8, like in the morning, 8?
Yes, in the morning.
Yeah. That kind of doesn't work for me. Who gets up at 8?
I do.
I Skype with my French boyfriend in Paris until like 3 in the morning. I don't even get to Starbucks until like 10, where I order my grande chai tea latte, 3 pumps, skim milk, light water, 2% foam, extra hot, but not too hot. So if it's okay, I work best in the morning at 10:45.
Wow. Amy, I don't think we're going to be a good fit.
Why are you so negative? I can sense your hostilities, and right now I am not feeling very safe. I've been here for over 5 minutes, and the only nice thing you have said to me was nice resume, which I typed all night for this meeting with you. You've given me no guidance, no validation, no encouragement, no supervision. Is there an HR director somewhere?
HR director?
Yes, I need to speak to someone. I may have to take off today as a mental health day.
Take the day off. Amy, look at me. You don't work here.
Oh,
Are you firing me?
Okay, yes. Amy, it says you are. Amy,
whew. Have we ever experienced that? Yeah. Oh, I mean, it does show the disconnect in our generations, right? Oh, look at that. I didn't even have that right. Also experience in the workplace where there's communication style or expectations. These differences can lead to misunderstandings and frustration. So a dramatized version of those challenges, let's take a look at the real traits, values, and work styles of the different generations. Big words, I know. Understanding where each group is coming from, we can start to bridge those gaps and build stronger, better collaborative teams. All right, some terminology. Handshake. How many people have heard of handshake? Okay, so it is actually it's the #1 site for students to find jobs. We have it here at CU, and it's in 1,400 higher education institutions. Okay, so she also talked about Snapchat, Instagram. We talked a little bit about soft skills. What are soft skills? Except for what's on the board. You guys can read this, it's okay. Right? So these are the skills that we use to interact with people. Right? Hard skills can be measured. Right? I can measure your output. I can measure how many scripts you fill. I can measure those kind of quantitative things. Soft skills I can't measure. Okay, so those are some of the skills we have. All right. You hit the right button. Yeah, I argued with this at home too. There we go. All right, baby boomers. Hang on, I gotta find all my note, where'd my notes go? All right. Born between 1946 and 1964, baby boomers retired during the pandemic and continue to free up jobs for younger generation. I love technology. Overall. All right, I'm just going this. I'll have to go this way. Okay, and again, the dates are not specific. They are more, they kind of morph and adjust. On average, boomers held 12 jobs over their lifetime, 12. Only half were after the age of 24. Okay. All right, I'm having a moment. Well, if I click on this and that moves, if I click on this and that moves. Now that doesn't move.
Yeah.
It's all right, I get it. All right, I'll figure it out. I got it. Go from there. All right, we'll struggle with it a little bit. All right, baby boomers, 1946, 1960. Okay, what I want you guys to look at is the soft skills on here, the feedback style, and our communication preferences. Because those are going to change as we go into different generations. Okay. So I will not ask you to raise your hand if you're a baby boomer. Just nod, smile, and nod. Right. But look at feedback style. Is that what we're looking for? Is that as a worker, as a baby boomer, is that what I want? Right? Formal, written, infrequent feedback style. How many baby boomers still use these vocabularies? Yeah. Yep. Significant world events that help shape the baby boomers. You guys remember where you were? Yeah. All right, what are we doing? No, I can't get it. Okay. All right. This one? All right, Rachel, what am I doing?
Let it press.
Yeah, so if I let it progress, either get it on there or on here. See, then I won't do it over there. Don't we just, technology is wonderful. Here. On my computer, I do, yes. Thanks. That's why I'm ending on this one. All right, let's try this. There we go. Okay, I got it.
Sure.
No, but I got it. All right. Values tend to remain loyal to employers and rarely switch jobs. Okay. Ideal work environment. Assumes the status quo is maintained. So that means I just keep working and I'm fine until you tell me different. Prefer structured environments with clear goals and deadlines. Work style, they thrive on structure and specific objectives to guide their work. So you have to be very specific with them. Here's your goals, here's what's going on. Retention strategies offer clear paths to promotions and recognition through tangible incentives. They represent 25% of the workforce and they're getting ready to retire. 31% feel they need less feedback than millennials or Gen X. So I need less feedback. Keep going. They're motivated by the opportunity to make an impact on the business. 2/3 of baby boomers are concerned about not having enough savings to quit working. And 2 out of 10 said the pandemic caused them to retire. All right, Gen X. Best movie ever. 165 hours of TV per month. Quick math, how much is that? 40 hours a week. Boy, still watch 40 hours of TV a week. Hopefully there's still something good. Yep. They grew up in a time when more women swapped domestic roles for the job market, so many were home alone after school before both parents returned home from work. Oh yeah, and Facebook is for old people. Okay. So we're going to look at soft skills. They're adaptable. They want a work-life balance, resourceful and independent. Feedback style, direct, informal, and periodic. Right? So I don't need it all the time. Communication preferences, desktop, email, TV. And of those Gen X's, don't have to raise your hand. Do we still use those? No, people are rad. Like, no, yeah. Just smile and nod, yeah. So it was termed by Paul Fussell. I know, I'm trying to go back and forth. All right. Also, MTV generation or Children of the Wall coming down. I lost all my notes, so I'm winging it. Zennials. Gen X are helicopter parents. Means they are highly involved in their upbringing. There's a new term now. Have you guys heard of lawnmower parents? Lawnmower parents, I take away all your barriers and all the hardships you have so you can just go through and make it easy. Yeah, that's not so good. Yeah. And we were the first generation to grow up with the computers. You guys remember where you were? When was the Challenger? 1986, yep. Berlin Wall. How about the Berlin Wall? Do you remember when it came down? November 9th, yep. Values, often skeptical of authority and believe competence is more important than rank. For those Gen X in there, is this true? You don't have to nod. You can just smile on the inside. Yep. They value work-life balance and prefer efficiency so they have more time for their personal lives. They're independent and adaptable, and they engage with immediate and clear feedback and prefer efficiency over form. Strong personal development initiatives can help keep retention high. Okay. In 2018, Gen X held 51% of the leadership positions globally. Gen X makes up 55% of startup founders. During the Great Resignation of 2021, this is a percentage. This is an average of 20%. That means 1 in 5 people were going to leave their job. So imagine your staff, whether it be inpatient, outpatient, wherever you are, 1 in 5 were considering leaving their job. %41% of Gen X are afraid of outliving their money, and 3 in 10 said that the pandemic has impacted their retirement. Misconception. We are technologically inept. Yes, I am. Yes, I am today. It worked yesterday. It didn't work today. Disengaged and cynical. Because we looked at the historical events, the other things that happened with us. Stuck in their ways. Are we? But that's the way other people look at it sometimes, yeah. All depends on who's telling the story. Yeah. All right. Millennials are Gen Y. 72 million. Millennials who graduated during the during the recession and encountered a difficult job market. Unemployment peaking at 10% in 2009. Many millennials ended up jobs they didn't want or took a gap year while looking for a better job. High interest loans defined many of their entrance into the workforce. All right, so again, oh, here's that vocabulary again. We're still using that, right? Everybody knows what FOMO means. Yeah, everybody knows what YOLO. Yeah. Lit, we still use that? Yeah, no. So soft skills, right? We talked about soft skills. They're flexible, collaborative, goal-oriented. Their feedback is digital, casual, and frequent. So millennials are looking for frequent feedback, where if you go back and look at Gen X, we're like, yeah, just every once in a while, hit me up. Communication preferences, laptop, email, and social media. Right? So that's where their communication lies. So as you have teams of multiple generations, you have to look at how am I going to communicate with them? Okay. Oh, everybody had MySpace, right? You remember where you were during 9/11? Mm-hmm. Yep. Rise of social media. All right, millennials. They value and prioritize sustainability, work-life balance, and a sense of belonging. They seek purpose beyond profits. Okay? Their ideal work environment includes professional development, promotions, and team building activities. Their work style, so they looking for self-care time and schedule autonomy to help them avoid burnout. Retention strategies, combining healthcare, tuition assistance, wellness programs, and goal setting fosters purpose and loyalty. Yeah, please interrupt me. Uh-huh. No, I,
Are also scared of losing our jobs. And we grew up in an environment where a job was better than nothing at all, that most employers don't fear we're really going anywhere until the end of the
yeah. And I try to have slides in here, so each generation should have values, work style, and retention strategies. So if, I thought I had it on Gen X, but I should have it on the next couple. But yeah, no, please interrupt me, I don't mind.
Constructing is, you know, we have to constantly talk younger ones into why we want to stay.
And we'll talk about that a little bit. Yeah, yeah. Baby boomers and Gen X, I'm committed to it and stuff like that, but we'll talk about a little bit some of the other ones. All right, so millennials represent 35% of the workforce. They report lower engagement compared to Gen X and baby boomers. 43% due to burnout. Many millennials try to seek side hustles. 67% are looking for extra income opportunities. 2 and 3. So millennials, again, don't raise your hand. Shake your head. You guys insecure? Paycheck to paycheck? No, yes, no. You can lie to me and tell me yes, it's okay. Yeah. Value meaningful work. So that's what's different, is they look at work differently. When they find purpose in their work, 3 times more likely to stay and 4 times more likely to promote their company. Okay, so their values are a little bit different than baby boomers and Gen X are like, I work here for 30 years, no problem. They have to find purpose. So they have to have a reason for it. It's not just a paycheck and I love what I do. Okay. Millennials have a lot of anxiety. Self-reported, 18 to 34-year-olds, they're 6 out of 10. Financial anxiety was one of the biggest issues. Claimed they felt consumed by worries over money. We talked about burnout. Dr. Newford talked about burnout a little bit. What are some things that cause burnout? What are things that, and let me back up. What are some symptoms that we see of people that are hitting burnout? Very irritable, apathetic, I'm just here, I don't care. And, you know, what else? Mistakes, absolutely. Mistakes is a great one. What's that? Attendance? It's just me. This thing doesn't like me. There it goes. Physical and mental exhaustion. Right? Lowered immunity, falling sick more often, frequent headaches, back pain, change in appetite or sleep habits, impending dread. I love my job. I love my job. I love my job. Actually, I had a coworker one time, it was a funny story. She's like, I love my job. I love my job. I said, Tanya, I said the same thing. She goes, yes, Brian, but you actually mean it. Do. Cynicism, anger, irritability. Taking longer to get things done. Oh. Social media. 97% of Americans between the age of 49 own smartphones. 73% of millennials check their phone within 5 minutes. People are laughing because they're like, yes, we do. Mhm. And the rest of it is like, put your phone away. Put your phone away. 205 minutes a day, quick math. 3.4 hours. Have not gone more than 5 hours without checking their social media. The rest of us are like, that's just Facebook. We'll just check Facebook and we'll be good. All right. Millennial misconceptions. Entitled and lazy. I know, but you gotta read the rest of it. Even though it says entitled and lazy, read the rest of why.
That's an extremely productive person. I don't care what-
Misconceptions. They're entitled and lazy. Yes. And I do all these side hustles and I make more money. Yes. Obsessed with social media. Yep. But many of them prioritize real world connections. Financially irresponsible. No, but here's what's different. Millennials prioritize experiences over material possessions. They don't care about a house, a car, that kind of stuff. They look at experiences. Vacations. They should actually leave the state. Gen Z, the newest working generation, born between 97 and 2012. Most diverse generation in history. Are digital natives with new cell phones, social media, and rapidly developing technology. All right. Again, we're going to look at, here's the vocab. We're like, yeah, we use those all the time. All right. Soft skills, socially responsible, connected, realistic. Socially responsible, right? So we didn't see that really in the other generations. What's their feedback style? One-to-one, face-to-face, continuous, and frequent. So as a manager, this is stuff you want to look at. My Gen X people are like, hit me up once a month, a couple times a year, I'm good. Gen Z is like, every day you got to talk to me. But look at the communications, right? Smartphones communicate through social media. It's not email, it's not telephone. It's through social media. They're like, great, now I got to figure out how to use that too. All right, Zoomers, 97 to 2012. Their core values are diversity, individuality, social change. 360,000 students have experienced gun violence since Columbine. Adept with the technology, which is better than what I'm doing. AR, VR, AI. Ha Gen Z. Okay, this will be great. How many people had a cell phone off the top row? Everybody in the room. Almost. Those people that did not have one on the top row, you're like, oh, that's for old people. Your parents had those, huh? I haven't gone to house phone. I'm just on cell phones and technology, but you guys are having flashbacks to your phones, aren't you? I found this picture and I'm like, oh, I got to put that in. I got to have that. You guys have multiple phones off the top row, huh? Yeah. You guys remember Deepwater Horizon? Yep. Gen Z are seeing the struggles of their parents, of their Gen X parents. Wow. We're like, I had an encyclopedia.
Yeah.
Mom, what does that word mean? Now, Gen Z, their values, empathy, open communication style, and attention to mental health are their top priorities. Company culture should reflect diversity, equity, and inclusion. Many younger employees seek non-traditional work schedule and remote work opportunities. They prefer their work style, video calls, one-on-one meetings, and social, big word, social activities. Gen Z workforce wants security through job training and attention to mental health. Baby boomers, Gen X, I go to work, do my 8 hours, I go home. Yeah. Give me opportunities where I can do better and I can increase my knowledge base with things like this, go to other trainings, stuff like that. Gen Z, mentorships, wellness programs, and career development. Okay. Their mental health worsened during the pandemic. 30% don't feel financially secure. 46 are worried about day-to-day expenses. All right. All right. My notes went away. All right. Intersectionality is over 5 letters, and it's a study of how societies treat people based on their various social and political identities, such as gender, ethnicity, and sexuality. Depending on those identities, a person may be privileged or oppressed. Gen Z are also comfortable challenging gender binaries. 50% of Gen Z think the gender binary is outdated. Gen Z is 4 times more to identify as transgender, non-binary, gender conforming, or gender fluid. And 40% want to act with their manager daily or more frequently. Manager's like, no, I got work to do. I can't tell you you're doing a good job every day, like on your resume. All right. They're used to instant communication. Flexible and cherished work-life balance, seeking purpose in their work. So that's why a little different, because they seek purpose more than other generations. They use social media and text messages as their primary commercial communication vehicles, right? Where the rest of us are still on email. Email, telephone. And they're like, what? I gotta figure out social media? All right, misconceptions. But they focus on social justice. I gotta find that definition. Wait, I had it. See, I was trying to keep you guys awake because I knew you guys were drifting off here. Social justice, the fair treatment and equitable status of all individuals and social groups within a state or society. Okay. Lacking real world skills. Are we nodding to this? Yeah, Gen Z are missing some real world skills. Growing up with rapid technology advancements, they value efficiency, not entitlement. So let's redefine some of these misconceptions, right? Each generation is diverse with unique values, experiences, and perspective. Conflict is avoidable. If I understand and leverage my strengths, then I have respect and collaboration, right? Avoid stereotypes. Focus on the individual differences rather than generalizations. Sharing knowledge and resources benefits everyone. And value unique contributions over generational labels. Embrace differences, learn from one another. We still gotta do Gen Alpha. I gotta finish it off, so. We're like, who's Gen Alpha, what? Yeah. Many, so here's my favorite line in this, right? Many had a digital presence before they were born. Because millennial parents started creating social media handles for their infants. Wait, what? They're not even born yet. They're already on social media? Yeah. They can already out text and outpost their millennial parents. All right. One of the best questions. So my position here is I help with some of the interviews that we were talking about earlier, right? So the school in Nebraska, he was talking about you have an entrance interview. And I help with some of those. One of the best questions on there, which is the hardest to answer, is define diversity. It's hard, right? So somebody give me your definition of diversity. What do you think it is? Hard, right? Differences in ethnicity, age, sexuality, cultural, social economics, right? Here's what's interesting. Millennials frame it in blending unique perspectives, backgrounds, and experiences, right? Gen Z and boomers identify as equal opportunity representation of demographic characteristics. They look at it totally different, right? 83% of millennials feel engaged and 76% empowered in inclusive work cultures. 53% of Gen Zs won't apply to a company that lacks diversity. Gen Zs are likely to leave if the company does not have a DEI policy. It's huge right now, isn't it, in the news? Yeah, so I look at this and we are really unique here at Skaggs that we actually have a department and a dedicated person for DEI. That's all she does. Dr. Erica Freitas. Yeah, and that's what she helps us out with. Okay. So this next slide is kind of what started this whole presentation. Okay, we have a scenario. Oh, but I'm in charge. Yes, you are, but I've been here longer and I run this. How many techs run the show? Just raise your hand because I know you do. Techs will make you or break you, I know. As a pharmacist, I know. You guys experience this with new graduates? Yep. They're kind of tough. So if I take this and go back to the previous slides, did the previous slides help you? Make more sense? You're like, oh, now I see why they're doing that. Because they're a little crazy. No, they're not crazy. They're good. All right. Multi-generational workforce combines diverse experiences, values, and perspectives shaped by historical and cultural factors. While generations trait overlap, work styles and expectations can differ. So right now we have 4 generations in the workforce. Understanding generational traits fosters collaboration and productivity. but always treat everyone as an individual. Benefits, upsides. Employees of different ages present unique opportunities to share experiences, thoughts, and ideas. Right? Fosters mentoring. You can create a mentorship program in a multi-generational workforce to match employees of different generations. Right? So you can match a Gen X with a Gen Z. Right? Because your Gen Z is new, just coming on board. Gen X is like, I've been here 20 years, I know what's going on. And so you have the digital experience of a Gen Z that can match with the experience of a Gen X. And between the two of them, it's like, because how many people have said, oh, this is the way we always do it? Yeah, well, that's not gonna work. Let's do it this way. What? This is the way we've always done it. No. Diverse experiences lead to diverse ideas, increasing team innovation with 4 generations worth of different life experiences. Requires flexibility and understanding. Understand employees as individuals. Facilitate opportunities for employees of different generations to exchange skills and experiences. Avoid stereotypes. Yeah, but we just did a whole slide of the whole thing of stereotypes, right? Did that help kind of take away from some of that? So you kind of understand, you're like, oh yeah, my boss does that all the time. Yeah. Tailor communication methods. So as a manager or as a supervisor, adapt communication styles to suit preferences. For example, in person for boomers and email for Gen X. Managing a workforce. When working with boomers, provide clear, specific goals and deadlines. Offer them mentoring opportunities where they can share their experiences. Place them in settings that foster workplace teamwork. When I work with Gen X, take advantage of their efficiencies. Provide direct feedback and offer them independence and autonomy to improve employee engagement. Gen Xers are excellent at problem solving. Age and communication differences. Educate your team. Right? We all have team meetings. Share insights on generational needs to build understanding, foster respect, embrace generational differences, and create a culture where everyone feels valued. Support expectations across generations and offer flexibility. So as a manager, right, options like email messaging, video calls, and in-person meetings. Not everybody is big on email. So sometimes you have to send the same message different ways. Right? Regularly check in what communication and management approaches work best and stay adaptive. Gotta find my notes. I am nothing without my notes. Know your audience, right? Avoid assumptions. Adapt your approach. If your communication isn't effective, try something else, right? So there's not just one way to communicate with your team. Right? For instance, if emails aren't working, try a video call. Be flexible. Balance formal reports with concise presentations to align with the team. Set clear expectations. Discuss communication preferences early, right? So if I cover response time and availability, if I'm sending out a message and I need a response back, then I need to say, hey, I need a response within 24 hours, 7 days, whatever it is. So that way everybody is responding back. Regardless of their communication preference. I'm just bringing my computer next time because it works. All right, working barriers. Gen Z often approach leaders directly, questioning opportunities or raises, but may lack clarity in articulating their needs, sometimes resorting to blunt communication or quiet quitting. Happened? Okay, you don't have to tell me if it did. It's okay. They thrive where good work is recognized over time as compensated. Leaders should foster open communication and involve them in decision-making. Okay. Gen Z may excel in hard skills, right? So when we talk about hard skills, stuff that can be measured, right? But they need support with soft skills. Managers should guide them patiently for personal and professional growth. I had the word, it was there. You guys heard of managing up? Okay, now everybody's sleeping. No, not managing up. So as a manager, I'm in the middle, right? This is what I need from my employees. Solutions and initiative, support, time, feedback, information, and clarity. So from my employees, I should be getting this to come into here as a manager so I can make better decisions, right? Because if I don't have this and I'm trying to make a decision, but now you're coming to me and you just sit in the back and you brew over it, and you haven't talked to me about any of this, and you sit there for 3 or 4 or 5 days and you brew over, well, my manager's not doing anything. Well, I already talked to him. I already, but he's not doing anything. Now I'm just going to quit. Okay. But why? Because I got to talk to you. I got to see what's going on. So manage up is I take this from my employees as a manager. Hey, you got to give me the feedback and you got to give me some time to work on it. Okay. So it's a two-way communication. Soft skills are crucial for personal and professional growth. Training programs should educate them on how to handle difficult conversations and ask for help constructively. This will help them manage stress and expectations in a more balanced manner. What are some soft skills? Communication. What else? Language. Okay. Tell me more. Problem solving. What else? Empathy. What else? Yeah. Teamwork skills. Look at all the words. Skills, right? Conflict resolution skills, decision-making skills, social skills. But it's not something that I can throw you out and expect you on the day one to be able to do these. These are skills that you have to master and develop. Everybody do it? No, I've worked with bad pharmacists. Techs have worked with bad pharmacists, right? Just say yes. I know you've had good ones, you've had bad ones. I know. I had a manager one time, they're like, I could have handled that better. I'm like, yeah, you could have. Yeah, don't yell at the patient. No. I used to have a phrase that said, if you do not have the knowledge, the skills, or the desire to help that patient or person in front of you, you are representing your company. How many times have you been shopping and you go in and you go, do you have any more? Everything's out. Do you have any more? Yeah, let me go look in the back. Let me see if I can find one for you, right? The knowledge, the skills, or the desire represents your company, right? So you go into the doctor and that front desk person is short and rude and whatever. I hate this company. I'm not going ever. It wasn't that. It was that person. Same thing as techs when we face patients, right? You have those bad days. You have those 12-hour days. You have those long days. But you're still representing your company. And that's how the patient sees you, right? And it doesn't have to be a patient. It can be customers of whatever level, right? It can be doctors and providers and nurses, working inpatient and all that, right? professional leadership skills, persuasion, patience, cognitive empathy, so attention to details. But these are things that younger generations don't necessarily have or know how to develop. Yeah, Lori. Is there a class in this? Today, no. That would be the, oh, great, now you can develop one. Yes. But think about that, right? As Gen X and baby boomers, we have all this knowledge and everything else. And the younger generations coming in, we always talk about they don't have these skills. Right? How to give critical feedback at work. Know your audience. Right? Tailor your feedback to be effectively received. Plan your message, delivering desired outcome. Build relationships, right? So we talked about manage up. Foster connections through mutual respect, perspectives, and efforts. I knew there was a word in there. Criticize in private, praise in public. You can write that down. Criticize in private, praise in public. One of the few things that I do as a pharmacist, a professional, never degrade a staff member in front of a patient. Sorry, that's my little passion for a minute. Never degrade a staff member in front of a patient. How many times has that happened? Don't have to raise your hand because it's happened. Sorry, one of my few moments of never degrade a staff member in front of a patient. Make it a two-way street. Okay? Actively listen. So as a manager, as a supervisor, right? How many here are lead techs? Nod your head in. Yeah, I am anyway. Read between the lines and notice the body language. Paraphrase what was said back to ensure you're understanding, right? Oh, this is what I'm understanding, right? And we hear that all the time. This is what I'm hearing. Make sure you phrase it back so you're like, oh, we're on the same page with that. No conversation should be one way, even if you're prepared to deliver specific points. Approach every conversation that you may have to receive feedback and ask. Sometimes we don't get feedback when we need it. For some, giving negative feedback is hard. How many times have you had to do that? Oh my God, you're always showing up late. Yeah, you're not dressed right. Yep. The best phrase I've found, by failing to provide an honest assessment of a team member's work, you're hindering their personal performance by not giving them the opportunity to course correct. Never thought about that, did you? That's tough. Don't take it personal. Pause and reflect before reacting to critical feedback. Oh, I gotta find this word. What is the definition between intent and impact? Anybody know? Yes, intent is the goal or the meaning behind the message. Impact is the effect or the result of your message, right? So impact and intention are different. Leave room for improvement. Oh my God, how often do we hear this? Smart goals, right? It's like, oh, I know that one. Embrace, receive feedback that's specific, actionable, results focused, and embraces openness to improve across generations. You guys are nodding your head on this one. Both sides, huh? This side? Mm-hmm. This side? Mm-hmm. 50% of employees quit their job because of a bad manager. True? I'll leave this up because you guys are reading both sides, huh? You have people on both sides. Just smile and nod. Just tell me yes. Right? We have people on this side. We have people on this side. Right? But again, boss versus leader. Career optimism about the job market. Gen Xers, 31% have a more positive outlook on this year than last. 43% of millennials and 73% of Gen Zs said they have a more positive outlook than last year. 32% of Gen Zs plan to change the job within the next year. 57% of Gen X. You're like, what? How many people am I losing? One effective way to bridge the educational gap is to set clear expectations from the onset. With a shared understanding, supported by cooperation and mutual respect, right? I can harness the potential then. Hold training sessions, open communications, don't judge. Does this help? Does it make sense? You're like, oh, one or two times you go, I didn't know that.